Welcome to LinesToGo installation videos. Today we will be removing and installing brake lines on a 97 Ford F250 using LinesToGo part number BLF-127-SS. While this particular installation is on a 97 F250, this set of lines will also work on the following year, make, and models as shown in your screen now. LinesToGo lines are made using original equipment end forms and fittings that are CNC bent for an easy and precise installation. We have also upgraded to stainless steel braided Teflon hoses for rust protection and to prevent surface fouling. These have an unlimited shelf life and anti-static PTFE liner. This set of LinesToGo lines are made using 304L stainless steel for rust resistance that exceeds OEM standards. Tech tip: disconnect the battery before working on a vehicle to reduce the risk of shorting out the battery on tools or lines. LinesToGo lines are made with a sectional design for easier installation. We also use color-coded unions on our sectioned lines. Just match the colors at the connections. Tools required: 9/16 and 19mm sockets and ratchet, 7/16, ½ inch, 9/16, 5/8 of an inch, and 12mm wrenches, cutting pliers, flat blade screwdriver, drain pan, jack and jack stands. The level of difficulty for this installation is considered to be easy. Start by disconnecting both batteries using a ½ inch wrench. Using a flat blade screwdriver, loosen the clamp securing the intake air tube and remove the intake air tube and filter from the vehicle. Note, this vehicle does not have the original air filter housing installed, and you may need to remove mounting bolts to remove the air filter housing. At the master cylinder, use a 5/8 of an inch and a 7/16 of an inch wrench to remove both fittings. Next, use a 9/16 of an inch socket to remove the nut securing the metal bracket holding the lines at the master cylinder and remove the metal bracket from the lines. Raise and support the vehicle and remove all four wheels using a 19mm socket. Remove both threaded fittings from the flex hose union at the left front wheel using a 7/16 of an inch wrench. Inside of the frame rail at the left front of the vehicle, remove both threaded fittings from the proportioning valve using a ½ inch and a 7/16 of an inch wrench. Remove both lines at the master cylinder from the vehicle. At the right front of the vehicle, use a 7/16 of an inch wrench to remove the threaded fitting from the flex hose. At the front cross member under the engine, remove the line from the plastic retaining clips and remove the line from the vehicle. Above the rear axle, use a 7/16 of an inch wrench to remove the threaded fitting from the top of the rear flex hose. Using a flat blade screwdriver, remove the rear extension line from the clips along the frame. Using a pair of cutting pliers, cut the rear brake line in front of the fuel tank. Remove the two sections of the rear brake line from the vehicle. Next, at the rear axle, remove the threaded fittings from the rear flex hose union using a 7/16 of an inch wrench. Remove the threaded fittings from both rear wheel cylinders using a 7/16 of an inch wrench. Using a flat blade screwdriver, open up the metal tab securing the brake line to the axle. Remove both rear axle lines from the vehicle. To begin the installation of your new LinesToGo brake lines, start by installing the line labeled 02 into position and start the top threaded fitting into the rear port on the master cylinder. Next, install the LinesToGo line labeled 01 into position and start the threaded fitting into the front port in the master cylinder. Inside of the left front wheel well, start the bottom fitting of the line labeled 01 into the rearward port of the left front flex hose union. Tighten the threaded fitting using a 9/16 of an inch wrench. Inside of the left front frame rail, start the bottom fitting of the line labeled 02 and tighten using a 5/8 of an inch wrench. Tighten both threaded fittings in the master cylinder using a 7/16 of an inch and a 9/16 of an inch wrench. Replace the metal bracket over the two lines and secure it using a 9/16 of an inch socket. Next, install the right front LinesToGo brake line labeled 04 into position. Start the threaded fittings into the right front and left front flex hoses. Tighten both fittings using a 9/16 of an inch wrench. Next, install the front section of the rear LinesToGo brake line labeled 05A into position. Start the front threaded fitting into the proportioning valve by hand. Next, install the rear section of the rear line labeled 05B into position, feeding it between the left frame rail and the fuel tank. Start the rear threaded fitting into the top of the rear flex hose and tighten using a 9/16 of an inch wrench. Start the threaded union in front of the fuel tank, noting the LinesToGo color-coded connections, and tighten using a 9/16 and a 12mm wrench. Tighten the fitting in the proportioning valve using a 9/16 of an inch wrench. Next, install the left rear LinesToGo axle line labeled 06A. Start the threaded fittings into the left rear wheel cylinder and the rear flex hose union. Tighten both threaded fittings using a 7/16 of an inch wrench. Next, install the right rear axle line labeled 06B into position and start the threaded fittings into the right rear wheel cylinder and the rear flex hose union. Secure the line into the metal clips on the rear axle. Tighten the threaded fitting in the rear flex hose union using a 9/16 of an inch wrench and the fitting in the right rear wheel cylinder using a 7/16 of an inch wrench. Using a 3/8 of an inch wrench, bleed all 4 wheels, making sure to keep the master cylinder reservoir topped up. Replace all 4 wheels and torque to the manufacturer's specification using a 19mm socket. Replace the intake air tube and secure it using a flat blade screwdriver. Reconnect the batteries and secure them using a 1/2 inch wrench. This concludes the installation of stainless steel brake lines on a 97 Ford F250 using LinesToGo part number BLF-127-SS. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or would like to purchase the lines you saw today, please call us at 1-855-781-5992. Email us at info@linestogo.com or check out our website link below. And don't forget to take advantage of our free 2-day shipping. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button below, and we will see you on our next video.